Steven Adams has long been seen as a great role player for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who is popular around the league for his jokes, great sense of humour, and wicked moustache. But this season, the young Kiwi is growing leaps and bounds, and is having a career year alongside Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony. He has been by far and away the most efficient scoring option alongside Westbrook, and his presence in the middle is instrumental to the Thunder's success on the offensive and defensive end. This video will cover the history of Adams as a player before discussing just what he is doing that is so effective on both ends of the court. It will then go on to discuss just how far this young big man can go, how good he can become, and if the Thunder are going to be able to make a run in the playoffs this season. Steven Adams was born in Rotorua in New Zealand, into a large family headed by his father, who had 5 children. Something in his father's genetics was magical, as his brothers have an average height of 6'9" and his sisters average 6 foot tall as well. One of these sisters, Valerie Adams, is one of the world's best shot putters and has won Olympic gold twice and is a world champion 4 times over in the sport. Steven himself was a champion shot putter at a young age and made it to the national championships. But it was always basketball that would lure the humble giant. But when he was just 13 years old, everything almost went horribly wrong for Adams. His father passed away, and as you would expect, it brutally affected the young teenager and he lost focus on school, basketball, and family. Adams started to lie to his siblings and miss school and hang out on the streets of his local neighbourhood. But a brother of his quickly realised what was happening and the road it would lead to, and stepped in to intervene and save his brother's promising future. His brother Warren organised a move out of Rotorua and to Wellington, the capital of New Zealand, to live with him and focus on basketball and school. Warren would enrol Steven in the local basketball academy, and the rest, as they say, is history. The head coach of the academy organised him to attend the prestigious school that also had a strong basketball program in Scott's Academy. He would train here and at the academy and begin the development of his skills, as Adams clearly had the athleticism and frame to play in the NBA, and he would just need to get his skills to the level of an NBA player. But more importantly, he would turn his academic performance around and reach the required level to become eligible to play college basketball, a huge turning point in his career. After his high school career was over, Adams would move to America for 1 semester at the Notre Dame Prep School, before going on to attend the University of Pittsburgh for his only college season. Here he would be a revelation in limited minutes, as he averaged 7.2 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game in just 23 minutes, making him one of the most efficient freshmen in Pittsburgh history. After this great season, he would declare for the 2013 NBA draft, and many were intrigued by the 7-foot-tall, athletic monster who had the strength of an ox and seemingly no fear on the court. But it wouldn't be until the 12th pick that Adams would be taken, and he was taken by one of the best talent spotters in the history of the NBA, Sam Presti. Having previously nailed picks which netted the Thunder Westbrook, Durant, Harden, and Ibaka, the Thunder general manager would take the giant big man with eyes for him to eventually replace Kendrick Perkins. Adams would initially come off the bench in his rookie season, but impressed with strong energy, defense, rebounding, and the ability to get under other players' skins. For some reason, NBA veterans around the league didn't take well to Adams' physical style of play, and he frequently got into scuffles with them and earned many players around the league technical fouls. After his strong rookie season, Adams would become the starter in his second year and hasn't looked back, even getting former number 3 pick and fantastic offensive player Enes Kanter into a bench role. This progression continued all the way until last season, when he averaged 11.7 points, 7.7 rebounds, and a steal and a block per game, all while shooting 57% from the field. Adams had worked hard in the off-seasons and had added a semi-hook/floater style shot that he could shoot with either hand about 6 feet out from the basket. This shot was perfect for Adams, as Westbrook was able to get him the ball here frequently in the pick and roll, and it prevented him from having to put the ball on the deck and try and dribble his way to the rim. And then when Adams got free for a lob or a close catch on the roll, it is game over, as he has proven that he's able to rise above most defenders and finish at the rim when he is close. And these are the offensive skills that makes Adams so valuable to this current Oklahoma City Thunder team. With 3 talented scorers and offensive players in Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook, the Thunder are in need of a player to do the dirty work on offense. Adams sets multiple screens of possession and uses his huge frame to help free up Anthony or George on a down screen, or to allow Russell Westbrook to attack downhill on a pick and roll. One thing I've noticed in this setting is that Adams' hands have gotten a lot better this season, and he's fumbling far less passes than he was in previous years. Last season could be quite frustrating for Thunder fans when Westbrook would dump the ball off to Adams with a simple pass or bounce pass, and he would fumble many of them out of bounds. But this year he's been catching the ball a lot cleaner and putting it up and in quickly. And huge credit has to be given to Adams for this improvement, but part of it would also come from the much improved spacing of the team this year, as teams can't afford to poke their hands in and disrupt the ball from Adams as much as they could in previous seasons. And the stats reflect this increased performance, with the starting lineup of OKC having one of the best point differentials in the league of +11. Part of this comes from Adams' incredible leap in offensive rebounding this season as well, as he averages 5.1 offensive rebounds a game. Again, this is another benefit from having George and Anthony on the team, as teams are being forced to double and help off of Adams more and more. And when they do, if that player misses, Adams is in prime position to grab the offensive board for the extra possession. He's also realizing that not many players in the league can even hope to keep his massive frame off of the glass. And on the defensive end, Adams has also continued to improve year by year and is turning into one of the best big men in the league at protecting the rim and ending possessions. But he usually ends it in a far less traditional way than most other big men. He usually boxes out and allows one of the other players to grab the rebounds. This allows Adams to focus on boxing out the best rebounder on the opposing team, and as a result the Thunder have been a good rebounding team overall and take advantage of their good defense by ending possessions early. But if all of this is happening and Adams has turned himself into a good player, then why are the Thunder only 20-15? I stand by my prediction at the beginning of this season that this is one of the better teams in the Western Conference, and put that rough start down to adjusting to the new team and some poor play from Westbrook and, to be honest, all of their stars. But it appears that since a 3-game losing streak and being 8-9, that the Thunder have turned the ship around, going 12-6 over the last 18 games and 7-1 over the last 8. And over this stretch, Adams has been averaging 16 points and 10 rebounds. The Thunder have realised that defenses are switched on to the big three, and if they look for him, they can get Adams easy looks and points at the rim. Plus, they've been running the offense through Westbrook far more, and allowing him to control the tempo and flow of the offense, as Paul George and Carmelo Anthony adapt around him and run secondary actions. I think that this strong play will continue, as it is a much better reflection of both their talent and their net rating on the court. And the Thunder are a team that is geared for the playoffs. They have a strong mix of talent that can create in isolation, are a great defensive team, and their weaker bench will be hidden by shorter rotations in the playoffs. I think that if this strong play does continue, they will be a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs, and most teams won't want to come up against Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony, all players who have proven that they can bring it on the NBA's biggest stage in the past. And then there is Steven Adams' future himself. It's hard to believe that this guy is only 24 years old and is only just beginning to enter his prime. He has continued to improve with every season, and I see no reason why he couldn't get better. But his role will always be limited to screening and offensive rebounding on this Thunder team, so I think he should focus his training on becoming an even better defender, getting better at reading plays and knowing when to help and when to stay put. This is the role he will likely play for his entire Thunder career, but it is not to be undersold. Defensive players that can rebound well and contribute on the offensive end are some of the most valuable in the NBA. Just look at Dennis Rodman and Robert Horry, as well as others in the past that were all integral to managing the egos of stars and being the glue of the team. And this young Kiwi in Steven Adams is definitely well on his way to being that glue, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be a force to reckon with in the playoffs this season. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA videos in the future, and leave a comment below of what you think of Steven Adams and the Oklahoma City Thunder.